Look at the camera.
Thank you.
Teaching you toys how to write. So my influences in traditional art have been folks like Da Vinci or Michelangelo, obviously, Rubens, to Duchamp, Klimt. Definitely a big fan of his work right now. To more contemporary artists like Hajime Sorayama. And I also have to give props to many of the great Japanese animators and filmmakers, from Masamune Shirow, created Ghost in the Shell, to to Akira, to there's so many anime movies out there, even to movie cinematographers like Akira Kurosawa. I take visual information in from everywhere, so it's not just, for me, it's not just graffiti specific. I do enjoy graffiti, but I do enjoy, other people's artwork, musical influences, man, from hip hop to dance hall, reggae, traditional to old school, contemporary. It doesn't matter, it's like I get influences from everywhere. Walking down the street and just seeing people, I take in all this information from the news to, real life, to fantasy life, to, to hardcore, political issues or whatever, everything influences me because I'm a part of everything that is happening at this point in time. So I try to reflect all these things in my artwork. Just got the real basic, how do I say, just one color with, obviously white, just throwing down our highlights and trying to pretty much just sketch out where general features are, again, another rough sketch just to kind of, check where we're at before we keep going. Make sure we're all anatomically correct and looking the right way. I did was just a real light. Yes. And then I did all the formula stuff. When you throw the little crosshairs in there, and you see the eye. So, as long as I can tell where the eyes are, the nose, the direction of the face, and start working on the shadows and all of that stuff. Eyebrows, gesture for the nose, just a chop in there. Place the ear and then the jawline. The rest of this stuff, all this stuff will disappear, and then we'll have hair. I don't know whether to lay the hair on her face or whether to have the hair being blown in the wind at this point, so we'll see. We'll lay the white down so we can lay our colors on top of it. So I work highlights and shadows at the same time. Here's a can control. Okay, you can get lines. I would do this with my mask, but I want to just, I'm just going to do a couple little marks here. You can do stuff like that, flares, right? And then that to me is the basis. I mean, of course you got lines, you got flares, and then you got soft stuff like that. So it's kind of like if you're gonna paint. Okay, how do I do this? So you got that type of, depending on how close you are, your speed, your distance, and all that, so you can go from one to another pretty quick. The second step here on top of the white is to start showing some of the gross general detail. I'm using semi-flat black to do this. Basically, trying to show some detail with the eyeballs and the eyelashes, and I'm going to go in and show some stuff, show where the nostril is, and the separation for the lips and so on. The cool thing about spray paint is that it's a really opaque medium, so as you go in with the blacks and let's say put in your details, you can just as equally do the exact opposite and go in with the whites and shape the blacks, down to however you want, whether it's hard cutting or soft cutting. Right now, what I'm trying to keep in mind is my highlights and shadows, and then the next step will be moving on to
my mid-tone fills and actually shaping up like the eyebrows and the eyelashes and all the other detail work. Right now I'm using beige to go in with my third fill color, also using it as my general skin tone and using it to shape up some of the detail in the black, the eyebrows, the eyelashes, going to go around the lips and whatnot. I'm using a skinny cap or a thin cap because I think it offers a little better control than trying to use a fat cap at this point. Short, quick burst of motion, so I don't get like drips and paint running all over the detail I'm trying to control.
So check this out, right? In here, I'm throwing in a hard cut, and on this side, I'm doing a soft cut. I didn't know you can do such precision. And I love lips, yo. Girl lips.
Here's a short burst of brown just to add a little bit of naturalness to the red lips.
Nice. Why is it when you start doing characters, people actually are, oh, okay, I don't know this now. So good. That's good. This girl's gonna be so hot. I love blonde girls. A second.
A little bit of red over the brown and black area of the lips to give it some volume.
So that's a mistake. Trying to overdo it, clean it up, and just went over too much into the black. So we're gonna fix it, which is all good. I'm pretty happy with it so far. The wind is starting to pick up a little bit. There we go. Sounds over there. Planning out my light sources since yesterday.
using white now to just show the overall gesture or motion of her hair, and to also show the cable attachment to the letters. Now I'm using a little bit of red to go over the white outline of the cables, trying to use some of the white for a little thin highlight on top of the cables. And then the next step here, going with a little black to kind of push the cables back into space.
I'm about to paint this wall right here. Just this section right in here. And what are we going to do now? We're going to put a scene on here to kind of tie in the whole wall. Funny how that looks like the smokestacks. I know you're wondering what I'm thinking right now. I don't know. Right now I'm just laying in colors. I'm trying to define a light source. It's beginning to develop. There's a atomic bomb blast. I'm trying to think of it as a light source right now. I'm trying to figure out how to define its shape using colors and spray paint.
Okay, I'm using the reds and yellows to basically detail the mushroom cloud as a ball of fire and an energy source, of light and energy.
This is definitely something I never want to see in my lifetime. Ever.
The red circles here are to suggest some detail in the surface tension and the overall shape and volume of the mushroom cloud. This is just how I would imagine, an atomic bomb blast would look. Now I've added some orange and a little bit of white just to show some direction and energy coming from the atomic bomb blast. Now that we have the complete atomic bomb blast, as well as my letters, good energy flow in the letters from the yellows to the oranges and to the blacks, and our female character over here tied into the letters by the cables. I'm going to start doing my rose pink border or outline color to make the entire piece kind of jump off the wall and make it all snap and poppy here. Still finishing up the details in this piece, and as I outline not only the letters but the characters also with this border color with the pink rose color. I like to tie in the entire piece, at the end with my border color. So I usually save this step to last or close to last because I also had to add my highlights in with along with my border colors. It is sunset, or the sun is setting, and it's real interesting because in the early part of the day the colors were just so intense and bright, and now the yellows in the sunset are totally picking up the yellows and the oranges in the piece now, and totally digging it. And as you can see, her eyes are the window to my soul.
What's up? Here today after we finished this piece yesterday. As you can see, it says say no, or if you can't see, let me point it out to you real quick. This is my S. Alright. This is my A. This is the N. And this is the O. What we basically have in our fill is multicolor blends in the background. So if you look at this without looking at like the pink or the terracotta here, you have like two-tone yellows going into like some orange here, and that's just the background fill. And then over top of that, we have some technical lines, semi-computer rock style, like some more fading, some other lines just to kind of give the piece of motion, with the arrows and everything. We have our border fill or border color here, and our 3D, which is the purple and the blue. Okay, we have some highlights coming out of the border color here. The reason why I like to put my highlights there like that is to show just some light source, some energy coming from the piece or from behind the piece or whatnot. Usually, or I guess traditionally, I would have put the highlights here to kind of cover, my other outlines, my primary outlines. The fill colors are, again, the abstract part of the piece to me, and that's just where I kind of just zone out and just start following the overall gestural energy of the letters or whatnot. Or I'll do things like this where I'll break the inside of the letters up into different blocks. Again, pretty much just following the overall shape of the letter. I played off of this light source, so not even getting to that yet. I carried my yellows into the oranges, a little bit of red, and kind of just used the buff color or the black, kind of to signify that there's a loss of energy or there's no energy over here. It's kind of more so dead in terms of color. So I wanted to kind of, play that pull in terms of color and I guess emotion and theory or whatnot. We have a girl that's kind of overlooking the entire piece, whether that's looking into the future, however you want to interpret it. She is, however, connected by wire to the letters, and I have this energy coming into the wires from the not so necessarily dead part of this piece, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know, I'm just thinking of, of the whole energy flow. Got some highlights on her face. Again, those highlights are similar to what I would have done if I would have thrown in highlights to the side of the letters or whatnot. But this is where I put my highlights, just to kind of throw in a little something different. Just to add some continuity to the overall piece. Again, I just pulled some of the color from the other side of the piece over here in terms of the highlight. Dropped a little bit of highlights in here